Been married 8 years. 5 and 6-year-old kids. I've been madly in love the whole time as she's an amazing person and mother. Literally keeps the family together and is just spectacular. Truly. She was showing me something on her phone and I saw a text come in saying I love you more. And I asked who it was. She explained it was a coworker that she's been helping out and I thought nothing more of it. That day we had a lot of family over to celebrate our daughter's birthday and it was a wonderful time. Some stayed overnight, so the next day after a wonderful weekend getting company out and putting the kids down, my wife said she needs to tell me something. Well, that I love you more was not from her coworker. Well, at least not the one she explained it was, but I'm not sure because she's not sharing any details regarding the other person. She told me that 6 months ago when I was in a dark place and have since come out of, no drugs except weed and booze, which we both partake, she found love in someone else. Love I wasn't providing in our relationship. If I have feelings for someone else, I'm not sure that I should be married. It's not fair to you or me. I never planned for this to happen, but now that it's a reality, we need to deal with it. She explained that she wasn't looking for someone else, it just happened. A friendship that bloomed into more. She's also told me that they have not been intimate, and explained that it's a sexual relationship. She says life is too short, and she wants to be happy. She's proud of all the changes I've made and I've always been a good dad, but I've grown into a great daddy in my kids and I have never been closer. But she wants to be 100% happy and the changes I've made haven't gotten her there, so she's seeking elsewhere. She says this person may not be the 100% answer. She worries that I'm at the best I can be in. It's not enough, yet she's not giving me specifics. We've had a beautiful loving relationship. We are known to be well out together and have our shit in line. We'd be the last couple that folks would think this is happening to. So, I'm devastated. Absolutely totally ripped apart and don't know what to do. We own a house together what we're making payments on, I carry no debt besides said home and she's in the same position. We had a perfect life together and I'm suddenly being blindsided by this 6-month relationship where she has feelings for and thinks it's best we split. I have no idea how to move forward. I've told her she needs to let her family know what's going on, so I can tell mine. It's her cat to let out of the bag. I'm just so sad for our kids. When we were dating and in marriage, cheating was the one thing that would break us. We both come from broken families, and it was something I never wanted for our kids. And so hollow and broken. She was my everything and I'm so thankful for the 10 years we've been together. But I think the writing is on the walls and I'm helpless. It's all up to her. I'm broken into a million pieces. Update 1. She was caught by me catching a text at my daughter's birthday party come in that said I love you more. When I asked what that was about she said it was a coworker she's been helping. Because we had all our family and friends there, I didn't push it. Later the next day she came clean and said that she's been in a relationship for 6 months, this was back in October, she refused to tell me who it was with or what they've done. I was devastated. Absolutely destroyed. Still am. So we spent some time apart and she continued her relationship with him. I did some digging in the meantime and looking at the phone records it was our son's coach. I called her out on it and she still continued the relationship. I saw a lawyer and he told me to not leave the house with the kids and either try to work it out or time to leave and to see a therapist. My therapist says she's a narcissist and that I should protect myself, protect my kids and run. Come December, she said she had cut it off with him and wanted to try again. I gave her all the effort in the world, but I don't feel like her soul's been in it. She's not overcompensating or has even truly apologized for what she's done. I've also gotten access to her photos, I'm the admin on the family Google account, and she doesn't know that I've seen all I have. She framed a picture of him and had it, maybe still does, at her desk. I found naked selfies she sent him that I haven't even received. I found a picture of his naked ass in our beach condo which I thought was natural space as we were nothing sharing it during our time apart. I slept on those same sheets. I know that she was at a fancy restaurant with someone else. She screenshots all these deep love quotes that I know aren't about me. So much that love's rent-free in my head. She has a white bracelet with one black bead that she now wears every day. I've called her out on it. She lied once and said it was from her mom, and up to last week said well my best friend has the matching one. Well, her affair partner wears an all-black 1/8 one white bead. I know what that represents. Again, she doesn't know I've seen all these things. So now to current day, I can't find anything that suggests that she's still with him, but I know she used Snapchat often and is secretive with her phone. Whenever I bring up the affair this blow up because I said I'd try to not bring it up and get over it, but I simply can't. I'm not rubbing it in, but it does come up when we argue which is almost every week. We do really well for a bit, up to and including intimacy, but then something happens and we go back to shit. She canceled our babysitter for trivia this past Tuesday, and for this Friday where I got tickets for us to see a show, but she doesn't want to go because I can't get over her affair. Her parents, mom and stepfather, both cheated on their spouses for each other and support my wife and both call and text me that it's unfair that I bring up her affair. The pictures of him life rent-free in my head almost constantly. I can't get past what she's done no matter how hard I try. I don't know what to do as she's trying to make me the bad guy and I'm like, I've been here the whole time. I didn't fall in love with someone else. I just don't understand and am an emotional train wreck. Oop, unfortunately no. I'm in MD and my lawyer says the laws just changed. Oop, I've had consultations. I have not officially started the process, and no I haven't asked her to leave. I don't want to do that to the kids. But maybe I should ask her too. We have the condo just a few minutes away. I haven't left because she's a teacher and has to leave before I get the kids on the bus, then I go to work. I have to be around as her job doesn't allow her to. My lawyer has also stated that this fact would be helpful in custody matters. Update 2. Valp, long story short, I literally just caught her at the family condo with the AF&F photos and video of his truck, his belongings in the home, and her coming out of the master where he stayed behind a closed door. I also went into our shared car that she drove and it was left unlocked in the parking garage with an open high noon on the cup holder and her wallet and belongings still in it. She came home and tried to talk. It was calm conversation but she kept saying it was my fault and if I communicated with her last night, I grey rocked her, maybe she wouldn't have been with him. So I communicated that I will be home later this afternoon/evening, so she's unexpectedly watching the kids today. I wanted to hang with them, as she took them away from me yesterday to go do activities and I would do separate activities today. However, I'm not emotionally able to give the kids the best of me right now and I definitely don't want to be around her. I asked if she could sleep in a kid's room and she got upset and stated that our bed is her bed and she will sleep where she wants. I said obviously. I've been for a 6-mile walk already and have been calling and leaving VMs at all the lawyers around. I know I can't abandon the home but I can't be around them after what I just saw this am. Thank all of you who responded earlier this week and suggested Grey Rock and 180 for me. I implemented them and I guess it drove her to this. But I'm officially divorcing her and there's no going back. Thank you so much SI crew. Update 3. Legal counsel told me to no contact her, so that's what I'm doing. She texted me last night all about how she hasn't asked for a second chance even though I've given them and she loves me and she now is willing to do therapy and share her locations and access to her phone and can't see rocking on the porch with at 80. Yada yada. When I got home last night she was in the master so I slept upstairs. This AM, no communication. She wouldn't even look at me. Yesterday, when I caught them with video, I saw his hat and it noticed it was a local landscaper. So I called to see if he worked there. He does. Okay, thanks. That was it. This MF just called me saying if I want to talk to him here's his number, don't call my boss. I said I have nothing to say to you. He replied and I have nothing to say to you and hung up. Also her mom reached out and said how I must be devastated and she's so sorry and to call her when I have a chance. I'm going to continue my no contact with everyone and let my lawyer, once I secure one, do all the talking. This is so damn hard. Update 4. I have an appointment with my lawyers this Friday and we will go from there. I've been running, house shopping and trying to stay distracted. It's very hard. I have a lot of emotions and sadness. I lost my best friend and lover to another. I know I need to keep saying it, as her loss, and it will be, but it all still sucks. Especially hearing her tell me all she's done. Horrible shit. I don't want to get divorced, but it's what has to happen for my own self-respect and happiness. I can never ever trust her again. Oop, my wife is so. He's divorced because his wife cheated on him. Oop, right? How absolutely shitty. Kids involved too. Oop, yeah. I need to get back to my therapist. Update 5. Show, where to start? Well, first off, I did it. I officially filed for divorce, and she has been served. She has less than 2 weeks to respond. Quite literally the hardest decision I've ever had to make and to be 100% honest, I still don't want to, but I know that it will be what's best for me, my soul, my anxiety and my mind. Over the past month we'd have good days and bad days. Tension was always high, and it turns out she still kept lying about him. I got a hold of her phone again and she had shared locations on Snap with him, and when we were supposedly trying to make it work she wouldn't even share that with me, her husband. And I had asked. Oh, and she changed his name in Snapchat so I wouldn't know it was him. Multi-levels of deception. She also had changed his name in her contacts to throw me off. Sucks for her, I know tech well, and am a bit smarter and clever than the average bear. On her birthday, we weren't getting along, so she chose to go spend time with him in the evening while I hung out without kids. Didn't tell me, found out by searching her phone for his name. That same day, she had been texting her BFF and literally told her I was being annoying and said, why don't you just divorce me? To her regarding me. In arguments, she'd text me to divorce her because I would express how I was unhappy and am struggling trusting her because she's been so shady. Everything from blocking me on Snapchat, because she didn't want to see my snaps was her reason, to a crazy phone screen cover, to changing the lock code on her car. Both names are on it, but it's primarily hers, just really odd shit, and then would also try to love bomb me and have me just go along with everything and be a good family man. More recently, on my birthday I made the poor decision to go out with her. Absolutely, we had a lovely time till something triggered me and her affair came up, and we started arguing. It escalated up to the point where I was recording her on my phone as she was going nuts, and she straight up hit me in the side of my head, knocked my phone to the ground and we tussled over my phone. All recorded. She called the police, no charges pressed, and I was told to sleep upstairs, which I did willingly. The next day, she filed a protective order against me and I couldn't reach out to or see the kids, or her, which was okay, for a week. I couldn't even be in my own home. She did have the kids call me every day, which was very nice. During that week, my lawyers convinced me the best thing to do, especially for custodial reasons, was to file as it supersedes the restraining order, so I did. At the court hearing she was served, and knew it was coming the night before as her friend is an officer and it's public record. In front of the judge, she said that I was no threat to her or our children and that I'm a great father. She also stated that I'm allowed to freely come and go at the house and anywhere else I chose, as I'm not a threat, and she wants me to see and be with the kids. It's in the transcript, so I'll use that in the custody battle. We will and have talked about 50-50, but it's good to have in case. So the judge basically said that this was all a waste of time, and now because the restraining order has to be extended till we divorce, it's all null except that I'm not allowed to threaten her. Not like I ever have, or would ever do. I've moved to a family home which has room for me and the kiddos. They have their own room and beds, as well as toys, books, and everything else they could possibly need at this home, and we're splitting time with them. She expected me to make the AM 40 minutes commute to watch the kids by 7:30 so she can get to work, but I've made it very clear that if we have them overnight, we take care of the AMs regardless where the kids are. She fought that for a bit, but I showed her I have a Penge light order ready to go, and I could just take the main house 50% of the time and displace her, and she calmed down. So that's about it with an update. She's trying to win me back again, but I've now caught her 4 times going back to him, so I can't give her another chance. I want to, but I know I can't. I can't trust her. It's the hardest thing in the world. I break down crying randomly. I am terrified about the future and how it will all work out. I hate that she chose him over me, and tries to win me back. Telling me how much this is hurting her and all that jazz, and it's like, well, maybe you shouldn't have had a fucking year-long affair. An affair that was first discovered by an I love you more text. Maybe you shouldn't have given my engagement/wedding right back twice. You chose him. A one-time thing I could have recovered from and forgiven, but to go back time after time after time after time and hit it all and did all the things I know she did. Ugh. It's too much. I'm choosing to break up our beautiful little family and it kills me. However, I have to stand up for myself, and I know I could never trust her again. She keeps asking for time to heal, but she keeps going back and getting mad at me for bringing her affair up when we bicker. I can't help myself. That motherfucker lives rent-free in my head all the time, and almost everything reminds me of her infidelity. She chose him over me, and now will suffer the consequences. It just sucks because I'm suffering greatly too. Don't get married, folks. I'm sure more will come to me, but I'm just having a hard time and needed to type this all out and get it out of my head. Now on to second story. Wife and I believe the cruel twist of an April Fool's miscarriage joke was real, until our miracle baby's heartbeat flickered on the monitor. After nearly 18 years, PCOS, endometriosis, anemia, surgeries, a miscarriage, 12 years ago, less than 4 weeks, hormones, tests, heartache, tears, and thousands of dollars, it finally happened. The Mrs., 35F, and I, 40 male, had all but given up hope on having a biological child. And it all happened out of the blue. On Monday of this past week, the Mrs. worked early. Said she got to work, and was feeling a bit off. Her ladies' time had been regular for the first time ever for about the last year. She was late a month or so. Decided to take a pregnancy test at lunch, which was positive. Said she was going to wait until she got home to tell me. A few hours later, she began bleeding. She left work and called her sister, who is an RN, who said she was probably miscarrying and gave her advice on what to do. She came home. I could tell she was distraught, and when she told me, I was totally gobsmacked. Felt like a totally cruel joke that she would find out that she was pregnant and then start miscarrying hours later. On April Fool's Day, no less. The next morning, she made an appointment with a doctor we had been to previously. The appointment was for today, Friday. So the whole week, we are both dreading that day. It was like a black cloud over our home, making everything dark and gray. It put us both in a bad place. I am rather ignorant of a lot of things concerning female anatomy and pregnancy, and had major panic over what she might have to physically endure. DNC? Surgery? Knowing that mentally, she felt less than a woman for not being able to carry a child. I have hardly slept a wink in days. We went in this morning and they started with an ultrasound. As soon as that little bean showed on the monitor, I saw a little flicker of rhythmic light flashing. Seeing that little heartbeat took my breath away. For the first time in my life, I bawled in front of my wife and a stranger. To make a long story short, she is almost 7 weeks along. The doctor said mama and the baby are fine. Nothing that had occurred up to this point was uncommon. He also stated that if the baby makes it to 12 weeks our chances increase greatly. We had went to this appointment expecting sad news and left that office today with the greatest amount of hope we have had in a long time. I know a lot of women suffer with many of the same issues my wife has had. At one point, a different doctor had said it was highly unlikely that she would have a viable pregnancy at all. I know we are not out of the woods just yet, but I feel it in these old bones that our time is now. Even if this little being doesn't make it to a full-blown human, it is still possible. There is hope. In the meantime, I am gonna pamper the shit out of my blue-eyed girl. Oop, I have ugly cried intermittently all day. I have never been more grateful in my entire life. Oop, that is awesome. Thank you so very much. Update 1. Myself, 40 male, and my wife, 35F, had our 12-week doctor visit today as my wife is currently 12 weeks and 3 days pregnant. I am happy to report that mama and baby are perfectly happy and healthy to this point. Doctor remains optimistic and has been incredibly supportive in dealing with some of the concerns and anxieties that the missus and I have both had. This whole experience has been the best kind of overwhelming. I had lost hope for the future in the last couple of years. With sudden deaths, familial breakups, and life problems, there had been many nights that I prayed the Lord to take me as I was too much of a coward to do it myself. And now, I have rediscovered the fire and drive of my youth. I am bound and determined to give this child a happy life. I can't wait to show and teach them the things that I was never taught or told. I am bound to continue on improving my health so that I have a better show, at making it far into their adulthood. My number one goal in life now is to someday unleash this kid out into the world educated, confident, empathetic, understanding, compassionate, happy and kind. I love them so much already. November can't get here fast enough. Oop, if the experience has taught me anything, it is that there is always hope. We were told it would probably never happen. If it can happen to us, it can happen to anyone. Best of luck, kind Redditor. Update 2. We had a gender reveal party on the day she was 20 weeks and found out we were going to be having a sweet little girl. This was on a Sunday. We were both over the moon and couldn't stop beaming leading up to our doctor's appointment a couple days later on Tuesday. Went in on Tuesday for the 20th week appointment. They did the anatomy scan, baby was perfectly healthy. Had all 10 fingers and toes. Was estimated to be about 1/3 larger than average expected at that date. Our doctor came in at the end of the appointment. Said he saw on the ultrasound that my wife's cervix was shorter than he would like and that she had already dilated a cm. My wife, as always, remained as cool as a cucumber while my insides felt like a volcanic eruption. They admitted her to the hospital. Were set to perform a circlage which they did the following day. To make a long story short, everything went incredibly well. Our doctor and the surgeon both seemed optimistic, though I know we are not completely out of the woods. They allowed us to go home after 4 days. My wife is expected to be on bed rest for the next 8 weeks and we have to go to the doctor every 2 weeks until our little girl arrives. We will also come back between 36 to 37 weeks where the circlage will be removed and nature should then take its course. We officially hit 22 weeks today. My wife and I would both like to thank everyone for the well wishes, prayers, and good vibes sent our way on our journey from you fine folks here at Reddit. Hopefully, the res-t of this pregnancy will be super boring, and my next post will be about the arrival of our miracle little angel. Update 3. Literally 2 days after my last post, at just past 20 weeks, we went to one of our doctor's appointments where they found my wife had dilated a centimeter, and her cervix was quite short. She was admitted immediately where they performed a circlage. We spent a few scary days at the hospital but everything turned out fine and the pregnancy had progressed as it should. The circlage was scheduled to be removed on October 28th. After everything that had occurred, ourselves and the doctor figured our little girl would be here a little sooner than her expected 11/24 due date. We were expecting a possible Halloween baby. Fast forward a bit past the 34-week mark. Wednesday 10/16 was my birthday. I was awakened violently at 4:30 a.m. by my wife telling me that her water had just broken. Initially, I thought she was joking, but I could see in her eyes and demeanor that she was not. To make a long story short, we rushed to the hospital and approximately 12 hours later, our little girl had arrived on the same day, in the same hospital that her pop-me had been born 41 years prior. At 4:16 p.m. our most precious tiger Lily came roaring into the world, weighing 5 pounds 4 ounces and measuring 18 inches. Being born at less than 35 weeks, it was mandatory that she be brought to the NICU. They currently have her hooked to a bubble CPAP, and 4 for preventative antibiotics, a feeding tube, and placed in what is for all intents and purposes, an incubator to keep her warm. She is already meeting or exceeding the metrics set forth by the hospital and her doctors. They have tripled her food intake in the last 40-ish hours, she is regulating her own body temperature, and they took her off the CPAP today. She is perfect, y'all. Her little features so well defined, it is as if she was carved out of marble by a master Italian sculptor. Her eyes as blue as the waters of Caribbean. Skin as soft and flawless as freshly bloomed rose petals. And the aura of a star. We are so in love with this child that we can't even take our eyes off of her. My wife and I would really like to thank everyone who has followed our family journey. Especially those who have reached out offering kind words, prayers, and good vibes. Much love, Reddit.